Hello, everyone. James is here. Welcome to Easy English Talks podcast. Today, we're diving into something that's, well, really essential for any English learner.
Oh, yeah.
Mastering the art of self-introductions.
That's a good one.
It might seem simple on the surface, but trust me.
Oh, tell me about it.
There's some subtle tricks that can really help you stand out
Yeah,
and help you connect with others.
absolutely. It's like the secret handshake to the English-speaking world. You know what's fascinating?
Look at that.
A lot of people get so caught up,
Oh, yeah.
in the grammar and vocabulary,
Right.
they forget the real purpose of an introduction.
I know what you mean. So many times I've seen people just rattle off,
Oh, yeah.
a list of facts about themselves.
Yeah,
And it's like, where's the personality?
Right.
Where's the spark?
exactly. And that's where things get interesting.
Yeah.
Let's say you're at a party.
Okay.
Someone says, "Hi, I'm John. I'm an accountant."
Right.
Okay, that's information. But it doesn't really tell you anything about John as a person.
Right. It's like reading a dry textbook.
But what if John had said, "Hi, I'm John. I'm an accountant, but in my free time, I love to rock climb." Suddenly you have this image of John,
Yeah.
as this adventurous, maybe even slightly daring person.
I like it.
It's a conversation starter.
That's such a good point. It's like adding a splash of color
Right?
to a black and white picture.
Exactly.
So how can our listeners, figure out those little details
Yeah.
that make their introductions pop?
Well, I always tell people to think about what lights them up.
Mm-hmm.
What are you passionate about?
Okay.
What stories are you eager to share?
Right.
It could be anything,
Yeah.
from your love of vintage video games to your obsession with baking the perfect sourdough bread.
I love that. It's about letting your personality shine through.
Yeah.
But of course, context matters too, right? You
Oh.
probably wouldn't talk about your latest gaming marathon
Mm.
at a formal business meeting.
Absolutely. It's like dressing for the occasion.
Right.
Let's say you're at a professional networking event.
Okay.
Instead of just saying, "I'm a software developer,"
Right.
you could say, "I'm a software developer and I'm really excited about the potential of AI to revolutionize the way we work."
Ah, I see what you're doing there.
Right.
You're highlighting your expertise,
Yeah.
but also hinting at your future ambitions.
Precisely. It shows that you're not just there to collect business cards,
Yeah,
You're genuinely engaged
right.
and thinking about the bigger picture.
Okay, now what about those more casual settings,
Yeah.
like meeting someone at a language exchange
Uh-huh.
or a social gathering?
In those situations, you can definitely loosen up a bit.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to share, something a little more personal or quirky about yourself.
Right.
It could be something as simple as, "I'm learning English because I dream of traveling the world and connecting with people from different cultures."
I love that.
Yeah.
It instantly creates a sense of shared purpose and common ground.
Exactly.
Sometimes even thinking about what to say
Yeah.
can feel overwhelming,
Right.
especially if you're,
Yeah.
still getting comfortable with English.
I completely understand. One thing that I see that trips people up is that whole
Oh, yeah.
formal versus informal dilemma.
Right.
Like, should you say, "Good morning, my name is," or "Hey, I'm..."
Yeah,
It can be confusing.
it can be. And choosing the wrong level of formality can sometimes make things a bit awkward.
For sure.
What advice do you have for navigating that?
Well, a good rule of thumb is to pay attention to how others are introducing themselves.
Okay.
Are they keeping things light and casual?
Right.
Or are they opting for a more professional tone?
Okay.
It's all about reading the room and, adjusting your style accordingly.
That's such helpful advice.
Mm.
And I think it highlights a really important point.
What's that?
Self-introductions aren't just about reciting, like, memorized lines.
Yeah.
It's about being present, being aware of your surroundings,
Mm.
and adapting your language to fit the situation.
Exactly. It's a subtle skill, but it can make a world of difference in how you come across to others.
And you know what? Even though we're focusing on spoken introductions, I think a lot of these principles
Yeah,
can also apply to written introductions,
absolutely.
like in emails or online profiles.
Oh, for sure.
Would you agree?
Absolutely. Whether you're writing or speaking, the goal is the same.
Okay.
To make a positive impression and create a genuine connection with the other person.
Right.
And that's where things start to get really interesting.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what you have to say next. I have a feeling we're about to go even deeper.
But before we do that, I think there's another layer to this
Okay.
that's really important. And that's the power of nonverbal communication.
Oh, absolutely. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Right.
And I think the same could be said for body language. You can say all the right things,
Right.
but if your nonverbals are sending, a different message,
Exactly.
it can really undermine your introduction.
That's so true. It's like you're speaking two different languages at the same time.
Right.
Have you ever met someone
Yeah.
who had a really stiff posture,
Yeah.
avoided eye contact, and just mumbled their introduction?
Yes. It makes you want to shrink back and disappear.
Exactly. It doesn't exactly invite conversation.
No.
But on the other hand, when someone greets you with a warm smile, makes direct eye contact, stands tall with an open posture,
Right.
it makes you feel instantly at ease.
It's like they're saying, hey, I'm happy to be here and I'm genuinely interested in meeting you.
Right. And that makes all the difference.
Yeah.
So let's break down some of those key nonverbal cues that can really enhance your introductions.
Okay.
First up, eye contact.
Yes. The windows to the soul. I remember when I was first learning English,
Yeah.
I used to be so nervous about making eye contact.
Right.
It felt almost intrusive.
I can understand that. It can definitely feel uncomfortable at first.
Yeah.
Especially if you come from a culture where direct eye contact is not the norm.
Right.
But in many English-speaking cultures,
Yeah.
making eye contact is seen as a sign of respect and engagement.
It's like you're saying, I see you, I acknowledge you,
Yeah.
and I'm listening to what you have to say.
Precisely. Now, it's important to find a balance.
Okay.
You don't want to stare intensely,
Right.
but you also don't want to avoid eye contact altogether.
Right.
A good rule of thumb is to make eye contact for a few seconds,
Okay.
then briefly glance away,
Right.
and then reestablish eye contact.
It's almost like a dance. And speaking of dance, what about our posture? Does that really play a role in self-introductions?
More than you might think.
Okay.
Your posture conveys a lot about your confidence level and how you feel about yourself.
Okay.
If you're slouching or hunching over,
Yeah.
it can make you appear insecure or unapproachable.
It's almost like you're trying to make yourself smaller,
Right.
and less visible.
But if you stand tall with your shoulders back and your head held high,
Right.
it projects an air of confidence and self-assurance.
It's like you're saying, I'm comfortable in my own skin and I'm excited to be here.
Exactly. And it makes a huge difference in how others perceive you. Now, let's not forget about the power of a smile.
Ah, yes. The universal language of friendliness.
A genuine smile can instantly break the ice and put people at ease.
Yeah.
It signals warmth, approachability, and a willingness to connect.
And it's contagious. When you smile at someone, they almost can't help but smile back.
It's true. Smiling releases endorphins, which have mood-boosting effects. So not only are you making yourself feel good, you're also spreading that positive energy to those around you.
It's like a win-win situation. I know we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah.
From crafting memorable introductions
Right.
to mastering those subtle nonverbal cues. But before we wrap things up, I want to address something that I know
Yeah.
a lot of English learners struggle with.
Okay.
The fear of making mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. It's so common, and I think it stems from this idea that we have to be perfect in order to be accepted or understood.
I used to be so terrified of mispronouncing a word or making a grammatical error that I would sometimes avoid speaking English altogether.
I can relate to that, but the truth is mistakes are an inevitable part of the learning process.
Right.
Even native speakers make mistakes.
That's so reassuring to hear. It's like giving yourself permission to be human.
Exactly. The most important thing is to embrace the journey and not let the fear of making mistakes hold you back from practicing and improving your English.
That's such wise advice. It's about shifting your focus from perfection to progress.
Precisely. And remember, every time you step outside of your comfort zone and use your English, you're taking a step closer to fluency.
And building confidence along the way.
So to all of our listeners out there who are on this journey of learning English, I want to leave you with this thought. Be kind to yourself, celebrate your progress, and never stop exploring the wonderful world of language.
Beautifully said. Now, before we say goodbye, I have a little challenge for all of
Oh, I
you.
love challenges. What is it?
I challenge you to practice introducing yourself to at least one new person this week.
Okay.
It could be a classmate, a colleague, a neighbor, or even someone you meet at the coffee shop.
I love that. And remember, it doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out introduction.
Right.
Just a simple hello, my name is, and a friendly smile can go a long way.
Exactly. The goal is to put yourself out there, practice your English, and make a connection. And who knows, That simple introduction could lead to a new friendship, a valuable business contact, or even just a moment of shared human connection.
It's amazing how much power a simple introduction can hold. And with that thought, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into the art of self-introductions.
It's been such a pleasure exploring this topic with you.
Likewise.
And to all of our listeners, thank you for joining us. We hope you've gained some valuable insights
Yes.
and feel inspired to go out there and introduce yourselves with confidence and authenticity.
Absolutely. Remember, the more you practice,
Yeah.
the easier it becomes.
That's so true. It's like anything else in life, right? The
Yeah.
more you do it,
Yeah.
the more natural and effortless it feels.
Right.
So I encourage all of our listeners to, make self-introductions a regular part of their English practice routine.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to experiment
Right?
and have fun with it.
Yeah.
Try out different phrases, add a touch of humor, or even share a little anecdote. The key is to make it your own
Right.
and let your personality shine through.
I love that. It's about finding your voice and expressing yourself authentically.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes the most memorable introductions aren't the ones that are perfectly polished or grammatically flawless.
Right.
They're the ones that are genuine and heartfelt
Yeah.
and come from a place of, genuine connection.
I couldn't agree more. It's about connecting with another human being on a deeper level.
Yeah.
And sometimes that means letting go of the need to be perfect
Right.
and just being present in the moment.
So well said. It's about embracing the imperfections and celebrating the journey.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful message to leave our listeners with today.
It's been such a pleasure exploring the art of self-introductions with you today.
The feeling is mutual. And to all of our listeners out there, thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yes.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights and feel inspired to go out there and make some amazing connections.
Absolutely. And don't forget to subscribe and share the video with your friends.
Bye and see you next time. Bye-bye.